Alright, welcome everyone to Code Slice Tutorials. In today's tutorial, we'll be working on a simple Windows music player. I believe that sometimes you just want to play some music and you're like, okay, let me do it with Kivy. Yeah, so let's go on and work on this mini project together. So please make sure you already have Kivy installed and also you already have Python installed. Yeah, if you have that, let's get started. So we have our Py file, which is which we have named already as Windows Music Player. And now let's get into the coding stuff. Yeah, so firstly, we're just going to begin by importing some necessary modules, and we can start with import OS. So this allows us to interact basically with the operating system, be able to get the list and the paths. So if you want to play music, you want to, take the music from somewhere. In this case, we want to take it from our computer in the music folder. So that's why we're importing OS. So let's also import Kivy. All right, yeah, so we have our Kivy that is imported now. All right, so let's go on and start working on our class. So the class we're going to be working with is, we can just call it music. That's how you spell music, huh? Music player app. Okay, so we're making a music player app. Let's put in the build method. All right, okay. This is where we're going to put our methods and everything. And then this is where we're going to, then we can just run music player app. Just have the run method. This will allow us to run the application. Of course, nothing will display yet because we haven't really put anything. So for now, maybe let's just say print hello. Okay, let's go on and run that. Run. Okay, amazing. Everything is working. Hello. Okay, of course, nothing will show because we haven't really put anything yet. But we can see we're getting somewhere. All right, so we will need to choose a layout that we're going to work with. So I'm thinking that maybe we work with the grid layout and also with a box layout as well. And since we are dealing with the list, I will also need a scroll view as well. So let's go on and import these layouts, everything that you're going to be using. So from we have the box layout. We have the scroll view. Alright, and now we have our grid layout. Okay, and also maybe we would like a button as well and also some labels. So let's go and import that module as well. Basically, we're importing everything we will need in this case. But of course, if we forgot some things, we'll just import them later on. Okay, I think we are good. All right, so let's get to it. So now that we have our imports, let's go on and do something. So let's have our main layout. So this will be where our widgets are contained. So main layout, and let's use a box layout. Okay, so let's give it an orientation. I think usually vertical is good. I've never seen a playlist that is horizontal. Yeah. Okay, spacing. Let's just keep it to 10. Okay, so now we have our main layout. I hope I didn't spell anything incorrectly. I know my grammar is not good. Okay, and then let's then put some things within our main layout. Maybe let's begin with a label that we can put, and this is where our selected song can be displayed. Let's give it a name. Let's give it a text. Select a song. Okay, maybe let's also give it some parameters. Okay, let's give it a height. 50 should be fine. Okay, so we have our label now, but of course if you run this, nothing will show. So what we want to do is we want to add our label in our main layout. Right? Then we want to add widget self.label. Yeah. So we've now added our label into our main layout. Of course, if we run this, nothing will show. So in order for something to show, we just need to return the main layout. So let's just return main. Actually, let me just copy it. It's quicker. Return main. If no errors, it should run smoothly. If no typos, you see, there's a. Let me just fix this. I knew that I must have typed. So from Kivy, yeah, UIX. Yeah, just make sure you add that in there. Okay, yeah, let's go on and run it. What else did I mistype? Let's see. Okay, I didn't mistype anything else. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, as you can see, we have our label, select song, which is at the bottom. Okay, it's looking good. So let's go on and add some music. You know, let's get our music onto. Let's get a list of our music. So how do we do that? So the first thing is, so we already have import OS. Now we want to set the path to where our music is. So I believe for all of us, we might have different folders. So you can just name the folder based on where your music is. So in my case, I'm just going to be using, getting the music from the default music folder in Windows. Okay, so music folder, we can just say OS path expand user, which will now allow us to use this folder. Oops, no question mark. User. And then the folder we're going to be using is music. Yeah, it's music. So you can put whatever folder that you will be using here. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have our folder now. And then since we want to work with music, there's an important module that we need to also import, which is sound loader. Very important. there is a lot of limitations with using sound loader, but we don't need to worry about it for now, since we're just making a simple music player. Okay, so now we have our sound loader imported, and also we have the folder where we're going to be getting the music from. Yeah, so now let us set up some variables that we're going to use to store the music that we are playing. Let's call this soft sound, and let's make it none, because it's empty, right? It's empty for now. Yes, and then of course we have quite a bit of music. If you look at my folder here, yeah, there's a lot of music I have. So that is why, as mentioned before, we just need to use a scroll view, because you don't want a case where there's a lot of music and you can't really see. Yeah, so that's why we're using a scroll view. So let's go on and work on our scroll view. So just underneath here, let's just put these together. Oops, let's just put these together. Okay. Yeah, so now let's go on and work on our scroll view. Let's give it a size. Okay, all right, so now what we want to do is inside the scroll view, so we have our scroll view, so inside the scroll view we want to use a layout, and this layout will display the songs. So in this case we want to use I think a grid layout will be good, so let's just say song layout, and let's use a grid layout. Let's make sure that there's only one columns, and spacing you can customize based on your liking, but I think 5 is good. And very important, the size hint, make sure that it is none. Okay, all right, amazing. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to make sure that the layout grows as we add more buttons, so which means we need to be able to adjust the height of the grid layout. So to do that, we're going to bind the layout okay, and then the minimum height you can define that and make sure that, yeah, so we're going to just use a setter here just to yeah, make sure that our layout doesn't grow. No, so to make sure that it doesn't like remain the same, because usually what you do is you add more buttons, but your layout is not adjusting to show all those buttons. Then you just end up having your buttons, you know, like squeezed together. So to prevent that from happening, that's why we are using the setter to set a certain height, which is gonna always be based on the number of buttons that are there. Yeah, so let's go on and do that. Okay. Right. So now let us then put in some variables to track the music that we're going to be finding. So let's say found false. So this will help us to track if any songs were found. So we need to know if a song was found or not. So this will help us with that. So let's create the loop so that we can be able to run through the folder. So for file in music. where our music is at. So what we want there, if there is something that is found, right, we want to indicate that. So we can say if file lower ends with so here we just need to be a bit careful. So we are going into our music folder, and now we sort of giving specifics in terms of what kind of files we want. So in this case, we want MP3 files. So usually music comes in various formats, so we can also include those formats. So for example, maybe you might have music also in wave formats, so you can also put that in as well. Yes, but for me I just have MP3, but let's just leave it there. Okay, then I think we're all good so far. Yeah, I think we're all good so far. Okay, all right. So if file lower ends with MP3 wave, right? If we see any files like this, what we want to say, we want to return a found is true, meaning there is actually music that is found. So if music is found, then what we want to do, we want to display the music in our window, our Kivy window. So what we do that, we have to put a button. We can put a button whenever there's music found, and the text in this case can just be the file itself that we're going to be getting from the folder, the name of it. Okay, and then let's also just give it a size. Just make sure size hint we disable it and customize our own height. In this case, we can just keep it to 40. Okay, so if music is found, something will be created, which is a button. And then let us bind this button so that when we press this button, we want the sound to play, right? So let's go on and bind it. So press. So what should happen when the button is pressed? Let's call a function, and this function, let's just call it play song, just to play song. Okay. And then now let us take now this button, which is the name of the song, and let's put it back in our layout. Remember, we have our grid layout where the songs will be there. So now let us make sure that when a music is found, right, when a music is found in the folder, we create a button with the name of that song, and there is a function within that button, a method, which when we press that button, it's going to call self.placeSong. Yes, and this button we want it to be on this grid layout, so let's go ahead and add it there. So song layout, which is our grid layout, that widget button. Okay, amazing. We've got everything. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then of course there are cases where maybe a song is not found, so we'll need to also account for that as well. Yeah, but we can do that at the end. So let's go on and see how our progress looks. So let's add our sound layout into our main layout. Very important. Yes. So, but let's also remember that we need to scroll the grid layout as well. So let's add this grid layout into the scroll view so that we can be able to scroll the grid layout. And then after that, let's add this scroll view into the main layout. It's a lot of adding, but it's necessary. So let's go on. Let's start with scroll add widget. The widget we want to add there is the song layout. Okay, right, awesome. Now what we want to do is in our main layout as well, we want to now add the scroll layout, the scroll view layout. Add layout scroll. There you go. Yeah. Let's just see how things look. Okay, we have an error. Let me see. Sound loader. Which line is that? Okay. Yeah, I think there's a so just make sure the wording is okay. Yeah, I think I've really been messing up the grammar a lot. It's not sound loader, it's sound loader. Sorry for that. Sound loader. Okay, what else did I mistype now? Oh yes, ha, yes. Oh, gotta love this. Okay, yes. So remember the button that is created. We gave it. There's a method that is called, right, which is the self play the song. Yeah. So let's go on and create that method. My bad. Like that's what's causing the error. So let's just create play song. So this function is the one that will be called when we press that button. Yes, so let's play song. Let's make it an instance because it will always depend on which song we are playing or which button we're pressing. Okay. For now, let's just say print something just to check if the code is working. Okay, let's check it. Okay, amazing. So as you can see now, as mentioned, the code is now going through our folder and picking up all the songs within the folder. And then when we press the button now, what is going to happen? A song is going to play. But of course, for now, we just put a print statement there. So which means it's just going to print something when we press something. Just print something. Okay. Yeah. So of course, we will work on that function just to make sure when we press each button, an actual sound plays of that song. So let's go on and work on that. Yes, it should be straightforward to do from now on, but let's just consider some things. What if there is no sound in your folder? So this is if the song is found, right? Okay, let's just comment let's just say if there is music. But now the question is, what if there isn't music? Then what happens? What should happen? If there is no music, let's go on and work on that. So if there's no music found, if not found, right, meaning we don't have music, we don't want our app to crash, so let's just have a placeholder, and this placeholder can just be a button. And this button, let's just put a text for it. Songs found. No songs found. I think this is fine. Just give it size hint. Height is 40. Let's also disable this button so that there's no need to press it. Of course, let's now add now this placeholder, this button, into our song layout. Let me just copy this. Okay. Yeah, I think it's fine now. So let's just test this out. So suppose I am looking for music in a different folder where there's no music. I think I have music in all my folders now that I think about it. Maybe pictures. Let's say maybe you wanted to check music in pictures folder. Right. So wait, pictures. I'm hoping I have no music there. Anyway, let's check. Okay, let's run. Yes, amazing. So I have no songs in pictures folder. So as you can see now, it says no songs found, right? So that's what we're working on now. So if you don't do this, of course, the app will just crash, you know. Yeah. And of course, let's go back to our music folder. Music, which is where there actually is music. Yeah, so there we go. It's picking up all the music. I love the speed here. It's not slow. It's not that slow. Whoever says Kivy slow is wrong. Okay, so now that we have all of this, let's go on now and also create a stop button. We don't want a song to be playing forever. You know, it can be annoying. You start the music, you know, now you can't get it to stop. So let's have a button there just to make sure we are able to stop the music from playing. Okay, where can we, let's show our lines here. It's always nice to see the lines on the side so you can quickly navigate to wherever you want to. Okay, so let's go on and add a stop button. So stop btn. Let's stop btn. Text, let's call it stop. Okay, let's also give it a size. We're also going to go with none. Then of course, then we give it a height. And let's make it 50. Okay, now we have our stop button. And let's add this button now into our main layout. But the widget we're adding is stop button. So this stop button, we also want to give it, when we press it, we want something to happen. So which means we have to also bind it. We have to bind a method within it. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, as you can see, there's the stop button at the bottom. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, so far so good. So now let's go right on and put in our methods now. So when we press this button, what we want to do is we want to call a method, and that method will stop the song. Okay, so let's go on and do that. Maybe let's do it here. So stop binding, and this method will be called on press. So when the button is pressed, we're gonna create a method called stop song. Okay, stop song. Right. So that our app doesn't crash, of course, we need to have it here. Instance. Okay, print something. Just like saying print something. Yeah. Okay, all right, so now we have everything. So now let's actually work on the actual playing now of the song. So we don't want just to print something when when you want to listen to the song. So let's go in and fix this now. So to play the song, the first thing we want to do is we want to have the part of the song that is being played. So if you select the song, we want the path to that song, and then we want to play that song. So to do that, the first thing is let's get the path to that song. So song path, os path, and we're getting it from music folder. Music folder we created in the very beginning. So that's where we have our music instance text. So what does this mean? So this means when we run our code, right, we have a list of all the songs. So when we press now any of the songs, what do we get? We get a text from there, and then we use that text to find music within the folder with that text, and then we can then play that music. That is basically what we're doing. So we are finding the music based on the text that we have selected, right? Yeah, so after we have selected the song, what do? We want to play it. Yes. So of course we don't want to play two songs at the same time. So let's begin by firstly stopping any sounds that might be already playing. So if self.sound, let's say self.sound stop. So we want to stop any sounds that might be playing. We want to make sure that there's no sounds that are playing. Okay. Yes. And once we've made sure that there's no sounds that are playing, now we can then go on and load the song we want to play. Okay. And now this allows us to load the song we have selected using sound loader. So sound loader is what we'll be using to play the sound. Okay. So let's say now the song is loaded successfully, then what we want to do, that is where now we want to play it. So if self.sound, meaning we have loaded the sound, self.sound, we want to play it now. Then yeah, so it should play, or else let's just have an else statement just in case we have any errors. We can just print an error message. Print error for now. Let's just say error. Okay, let's go on and test that. We've been coding a lot. Okay, let's try it. Okay, it's playing, right? Okay, it's playing. Okay, as you can see, it is now playing. It is now playing, right? Yeah. So, but we're not done yet. We're not done. Yes. So, when the song is playing, we just wanna display the song that is currently playing. So remember we have a label that we created. Let me just go on and run it again. Run the code again. So we have our label here. So maybe let's change this label to display the selected song. Or at least let's just show a label where we can see the selected song. So let's go on and do that. So let's say self.label, right? Yeah. So which means now our label, which we already have there, which says select a song, we want to show the song that is now playing. So now playing, and then we want to instance text, which is the text we have selected. Okay. Let's just make sure we use the same brackets here. Okay, so that we don't even encounter any errors. Yes. And also, if there is an error, let's just use the same label to actually show there's an error instead of printing something. So if there's an error, we can just say maybe error loading songs. Yeah, just to show us that there's actually an error that we're encountering. Yes. Yeah, I think all is good. So now let's just work on our stop function here. So let's say the song is playing, but you wanna stop it. You know, maybe you get a call, and now you just wanna stop the music quickly so that you can, you know, continue on with the conversation via the call. So we want to have that. So to do that, let's just say if self.sound, meaning if there's actual sound playing, what do you want to do? If there's sound playing, we want to self.sound stop. We want to stop the sound. Yes. And as a bonus, let's also update the label to show us now that, okay, the song has stopped. So self.label the text, you can say stopped. Okay, let's go on and test it out. So because of copyright issues, I'm really not trying to play the song for more than 5 seconds or even 1 second. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so yeah, this is it, guys. We made it. So we have our list of songs. As you can see, it's a list of songs. It's a list of songs, and then let's play it. It plays, right? It shows now that we're getting the song. We stop it. Okay, we stopped it. We play another song. Stop it. Okay, you can go down on the list, play, stop it. Okay, amazing. Yeah, so that is how you make a simple, quick music player with Kivy. Yes, I challenge you to build up on this and make more fancy. So Kivy in itself, it cannot really do much when it comes to music player. Like, you know, maybe you'd wanna, you know, pause the music, continue playing, pause, continue playing. You know, you'll need other additional modules for that. Yeah, anyway, please subscribe and share in the comment section what you enjoyed about this tutorial, and also what are the things, what other tutorials I can be able to make. And thank you so much. Have an amazing day.